everybody. Handphonenya boleh diangkat, boleh diabadikan momennya. Konten nih Pak, konten.
Hello.
Jensen, welcome to Jakarta.
Thank you. It's terrific to be here.
I have to first apologize. I have to keep my phone on because the President Prabowo just landed in Peru and he would like to talk to you.
Okay.
So I was under strict instruction to keep my phone on in case he calls. But again, Jensen, it's a great honor for us to be here with you. You came all the way to Jakarta. We have a big audience here. And again, you're the leader of the AI revolution. We cannot be happier to have you here. So thank you once again.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here. Hello, Indonesia.
So when I was preparing for this, I researched to find something in common about you and Indonesia, and I only could find one thing.
The color of your company,
the color of my company,
is the
and our Indonesia and NVIDIA rhyme, right?
Indonesia, NVIDIA.
And GoTo has our biggest shareholder is SoftBank, Masayoshi-san.
Very good friend.
He was your biggest shareholder. The only difference is that he hasn't offered to lend me money to buy GoTo. So when you see him, please tell him to consider that. Jensen, we are in the dawn or in the middle of AI revolution. As we discussed at the backstage, Indonesia is now growing at about 5% per year. The president wants to accelerate the growth to 8%. And Indonesians are actually digital savvy. This is the biggest market for TikTok. And this is the biggest market for Instagram and one of the biggest for Google, and we can continue and so forth. But we have
the home
not
of GoTo.
And GoTo, thank you. But we have not taken the states as developers, as producers. Maybe you can tell a little bit, what is the advice that you can give to Indonesia so that we can be part of this revolution, not only as users or as consumers, but also part of the ecosystem, if you will.
First, the country needs to understand that intelligence is both, the production of intelligence is both an opportunity as well as an imperative. On the one hand, it's an opportunity because it's a whole new industry. This is the first time in history where we are going to produce one of the most valuable commodities, one of the most valuable assets the world's ever known, intelligence. And we could produce it at scale, meaning we can manufacture it as an industry. We now have the technology necessary to manufacture intelligence. And so as an opportunity for a nation that has access to energy, has access to a local market because of the nearly 300 million people in your society, this is an incredible opportunity. It's also a mandate, it's an imperative because no country can afford to have its natural resource, the data of its people, be extracted, transformed into intelligence, and imported back into the country. That doesn't make sense. You have to own your intelligence. You cannot outsource your intelligence. And so whether you look at it from a perspective of opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to create and be part of a new industry, or an imperative to control your own nation's intelligence, however you think about it, it is vital you engage the moment. It is vital that Indonesia AI becomes one of your most important national initiatives. And so I'm delighted to see AI Day in Indonesia. Yeah, this is really a big deal.
This actually resonates because about 5 years ago, Indonesia started a journey of developing our nickel resources to develop EV batteries, and we are now the largest producer of EV battery components. So my question to Pa Erick as government, I think Jensen is spot on. One of the biggest resources that we have is our data, our population, and how does the government see this? How would the Indonesian government support the AI development, hopefully with in partnership with NVIDIA?
Yeah, of course. Welcome to Indonesia, Jensen.
Thank you.
Pleased to
very
meet
much,
you.
Eric. Thank you.
It's always we open up for Indonesia to do collaborations with
Eric
world
to me
class.
is Mr. Football.
Mr. Huang. So I call you Mr. Huang then. President Prabowo has a massive programs, and President Prabowo do understand the strength and also the challenge about our nations. You mentioned before we have a big population, almost 300 million, and will keep increase until 315 million in the next 10 years. So this potential can be also the weakness if we as a country, this is why Mr. Prabowo want to make sure, back to basic, how we can give our people a space to be natures as a strong human capital, so can be ready for the workforce for the futures. This is why one of this program actually, he wants to give an access, better nutrition for early stage of our students. At the same time, to make sure they give also not only the physical, but also the mind. This is why he makes also announcement. Education and healthcare is very important to be the forearms for Indonesia development for the futures. If you look at President Prabowo make a statement regarding we have to bring back math is the most important subjects in the schools right now. At the same time, he wants to implement digitalizations in early days. So this is something I will say, go back to AI. We understand AI should be friendly to human natures. It's not something that we should afraid of, but it's important, Indonesia need to be ready on AI also, to be friendly, to be company of AI, and our people need to understand the use of AI. Otherwise, the one not ready for AI, they will lose jobs. This is why actually, again, like Patrick say, we want to be not just based on consumption in terms of our growth economy, but also be part of the producers. This is why it's very important you to be present here to help us for your knowledge and your also investment. I heard Indonesia. This is something that you be part of our ecosystem for now and the futures. You can be the lighthouse that we set up here in Indonesia. So once again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So Jensen, at Goto, about 6 months ago, we decided to develop our own large language model, which we are doing with Indosat, which you will help launch.
Sahabat.
Sahabat.ai. And we started this development in partnership with AI Singapore.
Is Sahabat related to Bahasa? Bahasa is
Sahabat is an Indonesian word for pengyu, or brotherhood, or friendship.
Friendship or brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
Uh-huh.
And when we started this journey with AI Singapore 6 months ago, there was a high official from a developed country who asked a question to me. Why are we developing this? Why don't we just use a foreign established brand like OpenAI? They have a lot more resources. They have all the data. What does Indonesia have in terms of talent pool and whatnot? I want to ask you, do you think we are crazy in doing this? Because for us, we feel that we need to be part of it. We need to experience it and also to give opportunities for Indonesians to be part of the development. So this model is open source. It's available for everybody. But I just wanted to get your comment whether we are crazy or this is actually useless or this is something that you think is important.
It's not crazy. It's in fact essential. It is not crazy at all. It is absolutely essential that Indonesia build your own AI. How could Indonesia not build your own intelligence? On first principles, it makes no sense. Now the question is, For what reason does the world feel that AI is so expensive to do? It does require infrastructure. There's no question about that. However, the infrastructure, the technology is moving so fast, it's improving so fast. So long as you're not right at the bleeding edge, you're near the front, near the frontier, off the frontier, the cost of building AI is dramatically less. It is essential for Indonesia to own, to develop, to improve the national intelligence for its people. One of the things that's really important to realize is that AI is the best chance in the history of computing to close the technology divide. And let me prove it to you. The vast majority of the audience today don't know how to program a computer. The vast majority. The vast majority don't know how to program C++. But everyone in this room knows how to program artificial intelligence. All you have to do is try it. You can try ChatGPT, you can try Gemini, you could try Claude, and it is incredibly easy to use. The reason why it's easy to use is because it's intelligent. And if you're not sure how to use it, all you have to do is say, how do I use AI? And it will tell you how to use it. No software in history has ever been this easy to use. Now, all of a sudden, everyone is a computer programmer because of artificial intelligence. We have closed the technology divide. The technology, of course, is complicated, but using the technology for your power is not. And as you mentioned earlier, Eric, you're not going to lose your job to AI. You will lose your job to someone who uses AI. That
Absolutely.
is vitally important to realize. So on the one hand, Patrick, on the one hand, AI is so easy to use. On the other hand, AI is so vital to use because you want to lift yourself. This is the greatest opportunity for Indonesia to lift its people.
Sorry, Jensen, the president is on the line. And Jensen, as the president mentioned in the call just now, one of the key focus of his government is agriculture. Indonesia today is trying very hard to be self-sufficient in production of food, but more importantly is also to alleviate the prosperity of our farmers. Since this idea was brought up by him, maybe you can share your thoughts as to how AI can help Indonesia advance the agricultural sector here.
Agriculture, modern agriculture is called ag tech. A great deal of technology is involved in advancing agriculture yield, crop yield, managing disease, maximizing the profit and prosperity of farmers. All of that requires technology today. And it benefits the larger companies. It benefits large agriculture companies. With artificial intelligence, the fact that Indonesia is so well integrated with internet, almost everyone has access to internet and to cellular technologies. It is possible for every farmer to have access to the most advanced technologies through artificial intelligence. Some cameras, some phones, access to AI in the cloud. All of a sudden, they became super farmers. And all of a sudden, they could promote their yield, their crops to local distributors and get the best possible price from it. I think that artificial intelligence will democratize technology for everyone. It is really the great equalizer. Everyone has access to knowledge. Everyone has access to technology. Everyone has access to intelligence. It is the great equalizer. You know that today, all of the world's information, all of the world's knowledge is on the internet. But it is so incredibly hard to access. With an AI, it can teach you. It is your personal tutor. If you would like to be world-class agriculture technology innovator and apply the latest knowledge in agriculture to your own farming, all you have to do is ask an AI. And so that capability is in the hands of every farmer.
Our farmers will have AI agents to
That's
advise
right.
them how to improve their yield and so forth. So thank you for that. Erick, Jensen mentioned something that is important, which is about infrastructure. Indonesia actually has competitive advantages based on our research. The electricity cost, production cost, is 1/3 of what the US cost is. What is the government planning to do to accept, you are the boss of PLN and all these big companies, Pertamina and whatnot. What is the government's planning to do to accelerate the development of AI infrastructure?
Deregulations. I think with the one moving forward with new green electricity right now, electricity, I think it's important for us as a government to push some of the transition faster. We have a big potential as a countries. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have potential around 3,680 gigawatts. This is consists about from hydro, from wind, from solar. So we have a huge potential for green electricities. But again, if your GPUs, NVIDIA, can help us to make sure the delivery of this green electricity in the more calculative way, that is because it's very important for us to make sure that when we support on green electricity, it's not only for the industry, but also it's important for the people can be conscious to have this electricity at the same times. So this is why actually at this moment, we as the government, we are on the consolidating our data together from the Ministers of Health, the Ministers of Educations, our Social Security Administrators to be under one, what we call INA Digitals. So if we can be success from the health of our partners all over the world, this is something the key actually can be more effective and efficient. We can be supporting on the industrial sites. We also pushing a lot of building data centers. I heard Indosat gonna build data center in Papua, excellent. But at the same time, this is something that we need more data centers in Indonesia to support the AI developments.
Yeah, it's really important that you recognize the importance of infrastructure. Remember, this is a new industry, a new type of infrastructure. Just as the internet was the infrastructure of communications, the infrastructure of access to each other and access to information. There's a new infrastructure here now. And this infrastructure is the infrastructure of intelligence. Infrastructure of communications was built on top of the infrastructure of energy, infrastructure of transportation was built on top of infrastructure of manufacturing. All of these different infrastructures layer on top of each other and advance society. This infrastructure of intelligence is going to put in the hands of every child a personal tutor. It's going to put in the hands of every single village their own nurses and doctors. This infrastructure of intelligence needs to first be built. On top of that infrastructure, it's just like you had to build the infrastructure of the internet here. And Indonesia was one of the most advanced of the Southeast Asian countries to build internet infrastructure. If not for the internet infrastructure, GoTo wouldn't be possible.
Absolutely.
Isn't that right?
Correct.
And so this incredible company that was built of incredible value was built on top of an infrastructure. We're now going to build a new infrastructure, and on top of it, a whole bunch of startups, a whole bunch of new capabilities and services for the society is going to be possible.
Yes, we have 3.1 million driver partners today who would otherwise not have the opportunity to earn the money that they
You
are
created
earning
a
today.
wonderful service for society.
Yes.
You created wonderful jobs for 3.1 million people.
Yes, and we
Not
cannot
to
wait.
mention everything's more convenient.
And we have not harnessed the full potential of AI yet. So when that comes, we can, the things are a
More
lot more
efficient.
exciting.
That's right.
Even with government programs.
That's
because as a country, we still recognize public service obligations. This is something also that we need to be efficient, reduce corruptions. This is why President Prabowo also want to introduce
Yep.
clean governments in the last couple of months.
And just as the last infrastructure of the internet spoke HTML, this new infrastructure is going to speak Indonesian.
Absolutely. And all the
That's
dialects.
the amazing thing. Yeah.
So, Jensen,
The
Yeah.
technology is complicated, but its benefit is not.
He has a direct access to Mr. President already, I think.
well, this is actually a follow-up question. There are a lot of young Indonesians watching us today, and there will be more watching from the recording. You are an electrical engineer. I studied the issues engineering versus industrial engineering. But what is the advice that you would have to young Indonesians who are watching this session today as to how they would be best positioned to capture the full potential of AI?
Well, if for all the young people in Indonesia, I would say, of course, your education is still vital. Science, math, the liberal arts, all super important, and I would dedicate yourself to be as good of a student as you can be. However, 100% of young people today use the internet. That's because the internet became pervasive. At the time, 20 years ago, when internet was still just beginning, a lot of people didn't realize internet was going to be so integral to your lives. Just remember, 100% of the young people today should engage AI. AI is your future. It is going to be integrated into every part of your lives. For the young people, I'm so excited for you because you're going to grow up with your own tutor. Imagine your own Aristotle, your own teacher. This teacher will live with you your whole life. It will grow with you for as long, as you go through your life journey. And it will bring information to you. It will teach you. It will be your tutor. And I think that when you realize the incredible ease of access of the technology, its magical powers, you will surely be empowered by it. And so use AI to lift you. Use AI to supercharge you. Use AI to go as far as you can.
May I ask a question?
Please, Eric.
I don't want to answer your
Are
question.
you going to ask about how AI going to help the national team to win?
Correct. This is what. So I want to ask, with AI, because the landscape of sport industry might be changed in the futures. So you have a thought for that? Because at the same time, football is very important for our country at this moment.
Well, you're going to use AI to, of course, broadcast football.
Yes, number one.
Okay? You're going to use AI to help broadcast football. There are so many games going all the time, but it's impossible to have a very professional broadcaster for every game. In the future, every single game will have wonderful broadcasters. It will go directly to the right player. It will go directly to the right moment in the sport, and it will create a short little summary for every single game in Indonesia, and everyone can enjoy every game. And so that's, of course, right around the corner. This technology is here. You could, of course, use AI to help analyze your favorite athletes and so that they can improve their game. You can also use AI to maybe help you critique your strategy so that you could be a more successful team. There's a lot of different ways to use AI.
So Jensen,
And good luck to the Indonesian soccer team.
15 and 19.
Yeah, good luck.
We need a
Good
lot,
luck.
15 and 19. On March, we're going to implement AI
Go Indonesia
as a
football.
statistic.
Go Indonesia football.
the only thing that is as important as AI is in Indonesia today is for the national team to qualify to the World Cup.
Yes. Go Indonesia.
Jensen, it's been wonderful. Thank you very much. We learn a lot from you. We hope that this is only the first of many visits that you will make to Indonesia. As President Prabowo said, that he invited you to come back and make Indonesia your second home. So again, on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you very much, and also for your personal contribution for the volcanic eruption victims in East Nusa Tenggara. So really appreciate it.
Thank you, Patrick. Congratulations on Goto.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Eric, thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's give a big round of
Yeah.
applause for
Thank
the
you.
three
Berikan tepuk
gentlemen.
tangan yang paling
Please
meriah
stay on
sekali lagi.
stage.